Boys, we got probably the best UFC fight card this whole year. A non-pay-per-viewed event. We got UFC Saudi Arabia literally a few days away, and we're going to go through every single fight and give you guys my rare predictions on who I think's going to win. And like I said, this is probably one of the best fight cards that isn't a pay-per-view that we've had this entire year. Definitely my most anticipated fight card this entire year. Yeah, it's not a huge amount of fights on this card. Usually we have about 15-ish. We have a little bit less than 15 fights on this card. And yeah, let's just quickly run through it. It is a really good fight card too. Like I said, my most anticipated is really stacked. It is because it's on ABC and it's, Saudi Arabia. With that being said, let's run through this. Prelims card, we got that middleweight division. Sedriques Dumas taking on Denis Tiuliulin. Now, Sedriques Dumas, he's 9-2. He will have that height and reach advantage, and 50% of his wins come from KO. He's never lost by decision. He has some pretty good ground game, I'll give him that, but he has some bad fight IQ, and in my opinion, he's just not UFC level. Denis Tiuliulin, on the other hand, 11-9, not that great of a record, but 90% of his wins come from KO. He's coming off a back-to-back KO loss, which isn't a good look going into this fight. And in my opinion, this should be a Sedriques Dumas win, but like I said, not the greatest fight IQ, and I don't even think he's UFC level, so I think Denis Tiuliulin is going to win this one. He's going to give Sedriques Dumas his first decision loss. Let's keep moving down, though. The lightweight division. Herbert taking on Rolando. Bedoya. Now, Herbert, he has some good hands. I'll give him that. He has some good power to him. He's 12-5. He will have that height and reach advantage. And, 82% of his wins are coming from KO. He's the guy that dropped Ilia Topuria with that head cake. But Rolando, 14-3. 50% of his wins are coming from decision. He's coming off a 2-fight losing streak, which it is what it is. All of his losses have came from decision. He's kind of like the Max Holloway, he has no real significant one-shot power, but he has insane volume. He's going to have the better footwork. I think Bedoya is definitely going to win this one. It's either going to be a stoppage, like a TKO KO against the cage type of stoppage, or I could see a 29-28, maybe a 30-27 decision win. I think I'm going to go decision win though. Ronaldo Bedoya, give me that by decision. Let's keep moving down the women's strawweight division. Viktoriia Dudakova taking on Sam Hughes. Now, Dudakova 8-0, undefeated. She does have that reach advantage, and 50% of those wins coming from sub, but she also has 2 wins from KO, 2 from decision, so she can win in pretty much any way. Sam Hughes, on the other hand, 8-6, not the best record in the world. 43% of her wins come from sub. And this woman has been finished by submission, by KO, TKO, but she hasn't been KO'd in the normal sense. Her only TKO loss is a corner stoppage. She does have she has that dog in her, I'm not gonna lie. She's big for this division, but I think, yes, Sam Hughes has that dog in her, but I think Viktoriia is just slightly better. I don't think it's gonna be levels better. I think it's gonna be a very competitive decision win for Viktoriia, but keep moving down. Got that lightweight division. This is a sleeper of a fight. Guram Kutateladze taking on Jordan Vucens. Now, Guram 12-4. This is a short notice fight, so keep in mind for that. He does have that height and reach advantage, and currently, it's crazy. This guy's on a 2-fight losing streak. He's been a little bit inactive. I think his last fight was last year, and he got KO'd, so put a big stop to his hype train. But before that, man was on a 9-fight winning streak. He was super hyped up. 58% of his wins come from KO. He's been KO'd, like I said, from last fight. He's been sub before. It's not like this man's never been finished. He's going to be the faster guy. I think in this fight, he's going to be the way faster guy. He has good grappling. He has the better scrambles, which is going to be very important in this fight. Jordan, on the other hand, 13-2. He's coming in the short notice from Cage Warriors, but don't get it wrong, this guy deserves to be in the UFC. It's not like he's just some can to bring in for Guram to get his fight back. This is a huge step up for Jordan, but he's no can. He should be in the UFC, but maybe this is a little bit too much right now. He's on a 4-fight winning streak, all of them by submission. He has lost before, but they're all by decision. He's never been put out. Like I said, he's a good fighter, but I think it's just a big step up, too much for him right now. Maybe down the line he can get a little bit more experience, and we can definitely look at this fight again and be like, yeah, now Jordan would smoke Guram, but right now I think it's just way too soon for Jordan to step into this fight against someone like a Guram, especially on short notice. Give me Guram by a decision win. I think Jordan's going to be good enough not to get finished in this fight. But moving down, we got that heavyweight division. Shamil Gaziev taking on Dontel Mays. Gaziev, formerly undefeated. He's coming off that TKO loss against Jairzinho Rosenstrike, 12-1 right now. 67% of this man's wins come from KO. And, fighting someone like a Dontel Mays, this is a big step down in competition. Shamil is just all around better. He should be training his cardio because, last time we saw him, man took like 2 steps and was exhausted. So hopefully this man's been training his cardio. Dontel Mays, on the other hand, 11-6, kind of like a win-one, lose-one type of fighter. He has that height and reach advantage going into this fight, but I don't think it's going to really matter. 56% of his wins coming from KO. Like I said, a win-one, lose-one type of fighter. He's 2-2 in his last 4. And this man has been KO'd, subbed, and he's lost by decision before. So it's not like he hasn't been put out in the UFC. And I don't know what it is about Dontel Mays. It's kind of funny to watch, but it's almost like he doesn't know how to throw a shot that isn't 100% power. If you watch him this weekend, pay attention because every single one of his shots are going to be at 100% power. And because of that, I think he's going to overswing and expose himself so where Shamil can get his back, get him on the ground. I think Shamil's going to get this done I'm thinking the first round, but I'm more leaning to a second round submission, but definitely Shamil should win this one if he's been training properly. He's just all around the better fighter. So give me Shamil, second round. Let's do I don't know why, but I'm seeing a second round arm triangle submission. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but I'm seeing a second round arm triangle submission. But let's keep moving down. Lightweight division. Muhammad Yahya taking on Caio Fernandez, and I don't know who to pick on this one. I'm not gonna lie. Muhammad with 12-4, 54% of his wins come from KO. He's coming off a decision loss to Trevor Peek, which, looking back at that, it's a good thing he didn't get put out by Trevor Peek, because Trevor Peek's a wild guy on the feet and on the ground. So the fact that he was able to survive to the decision is pretty good. Yahya has been put out, KO submission. He's lost by decision. It's not like he's unfinishable. He has a decent chin. Fernandez, on the other hand, 8-2. He has that reach advantage. 50% of his wins are coming from KO. He's coming off a decision loss. And all of his losses are by decision. So he hasn't been put out in the UFC just yet. He's overall the better fighter, but I don't know, for some reason Muhammad Yahya, I'm seeing Muhammad Yahya gain this one done, even though Fernandez should be the guy to get his hand raised this weekend. I'm seeing Muhammad Yahya by a decision win. I don't know why, can't really tell you, but give me Muhammad Yahya decision win, 29-28, maybe the third round Fernandez can take it. But let's move down. Light heavyweight division, we have Alonzo Menifield taking on Asmat Mirzakhanov. Now, Menifield number 15 in the ranking, Asmat 14 in the ranking. Menifield right now 15-4. He's gonna have that height and reach advantage, and 67% of his wins come from KO. He's never been submitted in the UFC yet, and he's coming off a loss to Carlos Oliveira. And I think Menifield should win this fight. He's been he's a pretty decent prospect at light heavyweight, but I swear this man has negative fight IQ. Good cardio, good all around, but just has negative fight IQ. And because of that, I think Mirzakhanov is going to get this one done. 75% of his wins are coming from KO. He's a really fast and explosive for light heavyweight, and he has a really high fight IQ. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Asmat get this down and submit Menifield for the first time. But I'm going to say a second round KO in this fight. Like I said, Menifield should get this one done, but until he can show me he has more than negative fight IQ, I can never pick him again. So because of that, that's why we're picking Asmat. But moving down, we're at that main card now, lightweight division. Joel Alvarez taking on Elvis Brenner. Now, Alvarez 20-3. He has that height and reach advantage with 85% of his wins coming from submission. Never been submitted before. Decent ground game, and he's pretty big for this weight class. And he's pretty decent on the feet. Elvis Brenner 16-4, 73% of his wins are also coming from submission, and all of his losses are coming from KO, so he's never been submitted before. He's coming off that fight against Orolbai, which, looking back at it does show Elvis Brenner is at least decent for this fight. I think this is going to be one of the best fights on this card. I think Brenner's going to have the more power. To be honest, this is like a pick'em type of fight, but I like the fact that Brenner went the distance against Orolbai. I think he's going to do I think hopefully he's been training, getting better and better. I think he's going to get this one done against Joel Alvarez. I think it's going to be majority a stand-up type of fight because their ground game is going to cancel each other out. And I think Brenner's just going to land the stronger, harder shots that's going to have the crowd going, I think that's why Brenner's going to win this one. I don't think he's going to drop Joel Alvarez or anything like that. I think it's going to be a 29, 30, 27 type of decision win. Let's move down. Women's strawweight division. Mackenzie Dern, number 7 in the world, versus Loopy Gomez, number 10. Now, there was a point in time where everyone was so high on the Mackenzie Dern hype train. Right now, she's 13-5, 90% of her wins from decision, never been submitted, but she's 2-4 in her last 6 fights. It's not looking very good. She's coming off a 2-fight losing streak right now, and there was a time where everyone, like I said, was so high on this girl, but it seems like she hasn't progressed at all in any of her fights. Seems like she's been pretty much the same, maybe even worse than what she originally was, but shown zero progression, which is very sad to see. But Loopy Gomez, 12-4, 75% of her wins are coming from decision. All of her losses are from decision, so she's never been put out in the UFC. She was on a 4-fight winning streak until she got that decision loss against Vera not too long ago. I think this fight's going to be majority on the feet. I think the ground game is going to cancel each other out, and on the feet, I think Loopy Gomez is going to be way better. Give me Loopy Gomez by decision win. Let's keep moving down. Welterweight division. We got the boy El Kakui taking on Michael Chiesa. Now, Tony Ferguson, there's not much that needs to be said about Tony Ferguson. 26-10, reach advantage, 50% of his wins from KO with an average fight time of 11 minutes and 39 seconds. He's currently been KO twice. He's been submitted 3 times, and he's lost by decision 5 times. 7-fight losing streak. 4 of those 7 fights are by finish. It's really hard to find something that is positive to say about Tony Ferguson. I think he's going to be the faster guy out there. I think he's going to be better on the feet. If he can keep it standing, best believe there's a chance that this man can get it done. But Chiesa, he's just going to be the bigger and stronger fighter in there. I said Tony's going to be the faster guy, but this man's looking so damn old recently. I don't even know if he's going to be the faster fighter. We can pray all we want, but more likely than not, Chiesa's probably going to submit Tony Ferguson. That's what I'm seeing at least. Chiesa, 18-7. He has that height advantage, 61% of his wins from submission with an average fight time of 9 minutes and 30 seconds. He has been KO'd before. He's lost by submission 5 times and decision once. Currently on a 3-fight losing streak. It's not like these guys are both like killers anymore. This isn't the worst fight for Tony Ferguson. I don't think the odds should be so heavily favored against him. I think it's a lot closer than what it is, but it's hard to pick Tony Ferguson after what he's been looking like in his last 7 fights. So because of that, give me a 3rd round submission win for Michael Chiesa. Pains me to see. I want to see my boy El Kakui get a win and retire after that, but if he can keep it on the feet, I think Tony wins this one, but I don't know if he can keep it on the feet for all 3 rounds. Let's move down. 3 more to go to. Last 3 absolute bangers. Bantamweight division. Marlon Vera taking on Deiveson Figueiredo. Vera number 4 in the rankings. Figueiredo number 6. Now, Vera, he's coming off that loss against Sean O'Malley. Really got kind of fraud checked in a sense. He's 23-9. He has that height and reach advantage. He has 8 KO wins, 10 submission wins, and 5 decision wins. All of his losses, though, are from decision. He's never been put out, never been submitted in the UFC with an average fight time of 13 minutes and 25 seconds. Figueiredo, on the other hand, 23-3 with an average fight time of 11 minutes and 56 seconds. He has 9 KO wins, 9 submission wins, and 5 decision wins. Unlike Vera, this man's been KO'd. He's been submitted before, but I think this guy's just a better fighter, faster fighter. He has that championship level fight IQ, good ground game, good control on the top, very, very good dynamic footwork as well. And like I said, he has that championship level IQ. Where Vera, he can crack Figgy and put him out. I do see a reality where it's in the 3rd round, there's a minute left, and Vera cracks Figgy and puts him out. But more likely, we're going to see a very, very low output Chito Vera taking on a Deiveson Figueiredo who's there to come get another belt. I think Figgy's going to get this one done pretty easily, to be honest. I'm seeing like a 30-27, 29-28 at best decision win. I don't think Figgy's going to be the one to take out Vera. If he can eat that knee from Sean O'Malley, I don't see anyone putting this guy out. But yeah, this one pretty confident in this pick, but let's keep moving down to that middleweight division. Co-main event, we got Sharaputdin taking on Michel Oleksiejczuk. I don't know how the hell you pronounce that name, but regardless, Sharaputdin 13-0, undefeated. He has that height advantage. He's 91% of his wins come from KO. We already know this guy's very dynamic, very fast on the feet, kind of lost on the ground, but I think he's a little bit overhyped. Do I think he can still get it done over Michel? I do. Michel 19-8. He does have that reach advantage, but 84% of his wins coming from KO. I think this is going to be a majority a stand-up game, and I think Sharaputdin is just going to be way too fast for him. But Michel does have some hands to him. He's dropped Kevin Holland, which is very impressive. So, you know, I think it's going to be a closer fight than what people are going to say it's going to be, especially from Sharaputdin's last few fights. But maybe this is the fight we see Sharaputdin fully show up and show who he is in this fight, but more likely not, might be a 29-28 decision win, 30-27 decision win I could see. Or I could also see Sharaputdin getting that KO win. But from what I've seen in his last few fights, I'm going that decision win method. Let's keep moving over to that main event now. We got that bantamweight fight between Cory Sandhagen, number 2 in the rankings, taking on Umar Nurmagomedov, number 10. Cory Sandhagen 17-3. He's going to have that height and reach advantage with 7 KO wins, 3 submission wins, and 7 decision wins. This guy's never lost by submission, by the way. But he does have a very bad tendency of constantly giving up his back, which is very bad. Hopefully, you know, we've been seeing this guy's been training. So hopefully all this training, all this groundwork, all this submission defense is on point this fight. I think he's going to show levels to this fight. I think we're going to see a whole new Cory Sandhagen. Umar Nurmagomedov 17-0, undefeated. He has 2 KO wins, 7 submission wins, and 8 decision wins. This is a huge step up in competition for Umar. Let's not pretend like this isn't one of the biggest step up in competitions we've seen in recent UFC memory. It's not like Cory Sandhagen is this bum. Cory Sandhagen is number 2 in this bantamweight division with just killers and killers in this bantamweight division. Realistically, Cory Sandhagen should be fighting for a belt instead of fighting Umar, but I think Cory's gonna get this one done. I think the training he's been doing, he's been scheduled to fight Umar I think twice now. Best believe this guy's been training like no one's business. Give me Cory Sandhagen. I don't think he finishes Umar, to be honest, but I think he wins a very close decision win. Could be a split decision win, 49-48 decision win. Give me Cory Sandhagen by decision. You know, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Cory Sandhagen getting this one done. Maybe the first 2 rounds is all Umar. After that, I think Cory pulls off and wins the rest. But there's definitely a possibility that Umar just submits Cory Sandhagen in the first round, rear naked choke. But there's also a chance that Cory can, you know, catch that chin. But yeah, those are my official picks for UFC ABC. Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov. You guys have to let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of this card? In my opinion, one of the best cards we've had all year, non-pay-per-view wise, and it even like it stacks up to some pay-per-view cards we've had this year, to be honest. But thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss any of these rare videos. And yeah, there's really not that much else left to say except for I will see you guys in my next video.